My hope is that if we have the right understanding of discipline, we won't have to turn into this drill sergeant who's telling her class, I'm going to be a bit more authoritarian today than usual. So let's be firm, let's be authoritative, but let's also be pastoral and hospitable as well. About to move into another topic for tonight, and that is polishing our technique. As we do so, I thought it would be good for us to take another poll and see what people think about their own teaching technique right now. So Nick, take us through this poll question.
All right, Joe, thank you. This is not quite as much of a tongue twister, so thank you, Joe. The question here is, if they invented a teaching polish that you could use to actually polish your teaching techniques, what size can or bottle would you need? Please select A if you would like a supersized can or bottle, you need a total restoration. B, if the large size would fit, you need lots of help. C, if you're at the regular size, you could use some improvement. D, for the small size, you have a few areas that need attention. And finally, D, for the travel size there, E, I'm sorry, for the travel size, you may need a slight touch-up.
Okay, thank you, Nick. And you can see in this one, I didn't leave any opportunity for someone to say that they didn't need any help. I presume that we all need some type of help. Well, we'll come back and see those results in just a minute, but let's talk a little bit about polishing your technique. I'm sure you're all familiar with the great Beatles song written by George Harrison called Something. Remember, it goes like this. Something in the way she moves. Okay, Steve and Nick are both kind of saying, stop the singing, Joe. You know, that song is talking about an elusive quality, something in the way she moves. Well, I think when we think of effective teachers that we have had in the past, there's something about the way they taught that made them so effective. There's something about the way they spoke, about the way they looked at you, about the way they paced themselves. There's something about the way they moved about the room or about the way they could explain things and bring them to life and so on. Well, if we could isolate some of those somethings, those seemingly elusive qualities, and polish them and try to improve on them, we ourselves can become better catechists. So we're going to start a list here in just a second of what we can do, but let's take a look at our poll results. So Nick, what do we have?
All right, Joe, it looks like we pretty much met in the middle here with the regular size, so I could use some improvement. That was far and away our leading singular answer with 44% of our vote tonight, and then we kind of tapered off with a few experts and a few people needing a little more help.
Okay, thanks, Nick. So it looks like we're all kind of in the middle there, that we could use some help improving our techniques. Well, let's look at some things that we can do. Okay, the first thing, and I've already alluded to this before, I really encourage you to move around. I think the most effective catechists are people who are getting up and out of their chair and moving around and are bringing that sense of engagement by their movement. Now, I have to say, though, that I understand you need to teach from your comfort zone. So if this is not your style, I understand that. But if you haven't tried it, I encourage you to try to move around as catechists. Next, we've talked about this one. There's that ride your eye concept again. Make eye contact. I had a professor in college who lectured every week, and he never once looked at us. He looked at the wall behind us, the ceiling above us, or at his notes. He never once made eye contact, which led me to believe that I didn't need to be there. You want to make eye contact as a way of really showing the people that you are catechizing that you're personally interested in them. Make eye contact, lock eyes with them, and show that you are really speaking to them. Add some variety to your voice. You know, I try to do that if I can during these webinars because, you know, I don't want to just have this monotonous voice that's going on and on. You got to add variety, and Nick is good at that too. I noticed the first time we started practicing and he started speaking, I said, "You've done this before." And he said, "Yeah, he did some DJing in college." So you learn how to add that variety to your voice. Well, do that as a catechist as well. Keep some excitement in your voice and make sure that you're not becoming monotonous. Be aware of your facial expression and your body language. There's an old saying that says, if you believe in the resurrection, tell your face. Make sure that your face and your body language are expressing that this is good news. We're excited about teaching this. We're excited to be here, and that we're happy to be with those that we're teaching. Make sure that you vary your pace. This has a lot to do with our voice as well, but sometimes we need to speed up. Other times we need to slow down. So keep a good varied pace in your lessons as well. Keep or develop a sense of humor. I'm sure you all have a sense of humor, but lighten up. We all need to lighten up a little bit. Have some fun. Now, there's an old Jesuit maxim that says if you're a teacher, don't smile until after Christmas. The thinking there is you don't want to come in and just be too light from the get-go. It's better to start off a little serious and then you can lighten up as time goes on. But by all means, eventually, let's lighten up and have some fun. Be aware and vigilant. I tell catechists you need to grow eyes in the back of your head. This simply means always be on the lookout. Just always be looking around and making yourself present so that you're not surprised by things, but what you'll find is that you begin to anticipate problems and you can even cut them off and preempt them before they turn into problems. I encourage you to walk a fine line between creativity and maintenance. It's nice to always be doing new things in our classes, but young people as well as adults enjoy a sense of sameness as well. And so doing some things the same way, developing some rituals that you never change is also very healthy. So walk that fine line between creativity and maintenance. And then finally, I encourage you to strive to not only be effective, but affective, means showing some emotion. Don't be afraid to show both happiness and joy as well as sadness and sorrow. There's nothing wrong with showing young people the emotions that are attached to this learning that you're a part of and to your faith life. It can be very profound for them to see emotion in an adult.